Hello, students, and welcome. Today, we're going to take a journey, a virtual trip, if you will, to a truly beautiful place called Coorg. It's located in the state of Karnataka, and we'll be exploring a wonderful travelogue about it right from your textbook. Now, listen how the author begins. He says, "Midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore sits a piece of heaven that must have drifted from the kingdom of God." What a beautiful way to start. Just try to picture that, a piece of heaven just floating down from the sky. This is the image the author wants us to have of Coorg right from the very beginning. So, here's the plan for our journey today. First, we'll get to know Coorg a little bit. Then we'll explore its incredible natural beauty. After that, we'll learn about the brave people of Coorg. We'll also look at the amazing wildlife and adventure you can find there. We'll even cover how you can visit this paradise. And finally, we'll discuss why it's called the Heart of India. Shall we begin? Okay, let's begin with our first section. Welcome to Coorg. Now, Coorg is really well known for a few special things. It's famous for its coffee plantations, its evergreen rainforests, and its wonderful spices. To make sure we all know exactly where we're talking about, Coorg has another name, Kodagu, and it is the smallest district in the state of Karnataka. It's important to remember this location. Let's look at the landscape. Try to imagine this. It's a land of rolling hills. It has these beautiful evergreen rainforests that cover about 30% of the entire area. And nestled within these forests, you'll find sprawling coffee estates and spice plantations. You can even see these charming old colonial bungalows hiding among the trees. It's a very, very green and lush place. So when is the best time to visit? Well, you should plan your trip between September and March. During the monsoon season, the rains are very heavy, so it's best to avoid that time. But after the rains, the weather is just perfect. The author says the air actually breathes of invigorating coffee. Imagine that lovely smell all around you. All right, moving on to our next section, let's learn about the people who live in Coorg. They are called the Kodavus, and they are known to be a proud and independent people with a history of being great warriors. Now, this is very interesting. No one is completely sure about the origin of the Kodavu people. It's a bit of a mystery. There are two main theories. One theory is that they might be of Greek descent. The story says that a part of Alexander the Great's army couldn't go back home, so they settled here. The other theory is that they have Arabic origins, and this is supported by their traditional dress. And here, you can see their traditional dress. It's called a kupiya. It's a long black coat with a beautiful embroidered waist belt. Now, this kupiya looks very similar to the kufya that is worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. So you see, this is the evidence that supports the theory of their Arabic descent. The Kurji people, the Kodavus, are famous for their bravery. In fact, the very first chief of the Indian Army, General Karyappa, was a Kurji, and the Kurd regiment in the Indian Army is one of the most celebrated and decorated for its valor. So their culture is really a blend of valor and hospitality. They are known to be very warm and welcoming hosts. In their homes, they love to tell stories, tales of bravery about their fathers and their sons. And here's a very unique fact about them. The Kodavus are the only people in India who are permitted to carry firearms without needing a license. Okay, so we've learned about the place and its people. Now let's dive into the rich world of wildlife and adventure that Coorg has to offer. This is where the call of the wild really comes to life. The wildlife here is just so vibrant. You see, the great river Kaveri gets its water from the hills and forests of Coorg. In these waters, you can find a large freshwater fish called a mahasir. But that's not all. You can see so many creatures. Beautiful kingfishers, playful squirrels and langurs dropping fruit into the water. If you look up into the trees, you might see macaques, Malabar squirrels, and even the slender loris. And, of course, there are countless birds, bees, and butterflies everywhere. Elephants even enjoy being bathed in the river by their mahouts. For those who love adventure, Coorg is like a playground. It offers so many high-energy activities. There's river rafting, canoeing, and even rappelling, which means going down a cliff with ropes. You can also do rock climbing and mountain biking. And for those who love to walk, there are numerous trekking trails to explore. So I'm sure by now you're thinking, how can I visit this paradise? Well, let's look at the practical details. Tourism is very important for Coorg, so it's quite accessible. Here are a few places you must try to see. You can climb the Brahmagiri Hills, and from the top you get a panoramic view of the entire misty landscape. It's breathtaking. Then there's a rope bridge that takes you to a 64-acre island called Nisargadama. And for a truly unique cultural experience, you can visit Baila Kupe. It's India's largest Tibetan settlement, where you can see Buddhist monks. All right, let's look at the fact file on how to reach Coorg. If you're traveling by air, the nearest airports are Mangalore and Bangalore. For those taking the train, the nearest railheads are in Mysore, Mangalore, and Hassan. And if you plan to travel by road, there are 2 routes from Bangalore, and the distance is around 250 to 260 kilometers. And that brings us to our final section. Let's try to understand why Coorg is considered to be the very heart of India, a place that represents our country's spirit of unity and diversity. The author concludes by saying that visitors who are searching for the heart and soul of India can find it right here, in Coorg. Why do you think he says that? It's because Coorg brings together everything we've just learned about: the beautiful nature, the brave people, the unique traditions, all in one place. So let's just pause and think for a moment. Doesn't all this incredible variety in just one small district, doesn't it make you think about how geographically diverse our entire country, India, is? So let's quickly go over the key takeaways from our journey today. We learned that geographically, Coorg is a hilly district in Karnataka famous for coffee and rainforests. We learned about its people, the brave Kodavis with their unique martial tradition. We saw its vibrant wildlife, home to elephants and the mahasir fish. And finally, we looked at all the adventure it offers, like trekking and rafting. And I will leave you with one final thought to ponder. How does learning about places like Coorg help us appreciate the unity and diversity of India? By seeing how so many different landscapes, cultures, and histories can exist together in harmony, we can better understand what makes our country so very special. Thank you.